Hey, what's up everybody? Jake here and welcome to the hobby. With Sword and Shield firmly behind us, I think now is a great time for us to talk about what were some of the best Pokemon cards from the Sword and Shield era. And I try to be very objective about this. Think about what are some of the best Pokemon cards that I think are going to be timeless, constantly collected, highly valued, and talked about for years and years to come. So here's my top list. Hope you guys enjoy it and let me know what your thoughts are. Maybe your list is going to be different from mine. I actually wrote down a complete list and I try to put them in some kind of numerical order if I can make one. So first up, we got the Charizard VMAX from Shining Fates, a super cool Pokemon card. It is the Chase Pokemon card from Shining Fates. Shining Fates has a ton of shiny Pokemon. A lot of them are from the brand new Sword and Shield era. So a lot of newer Pokemon, but there are some shiny Pokemon that are going to be fan favorites for years to come, and of course Charizard is a big one inside of that category. I think this is a super popular Pokemon card and it's going to be exciting to see if you have a card like this inside of your collection in 10-20 years. Next up, we got a full art Pokemon card, and that is the Marnie full art from the Sword and Shield base set. Personally, I don't think it is the best looking full art trainer card from the Sword and Shield era. I think there's a couple of other ones that are way better, like Adaman or Alessa Sparkle. There's definitely some better looking full art trainer cards, but the reason why the Marnie is on this list is, of course, one, Marnie is by far the most popular trainer from the Sword and Shield era. The Marnie full art from the Sword and Shield base set is actually the most expensive full art trainer card from all Sword and Shield. And there's a couple of other reasons, such as the Sword and Shield base set being one of the more heavily limited sealed products that you can find right now. You can still find Sword and Shield products for a lot of other Pokemon card set at MSRP, but the Sword and Shield base set is so out of print that it's getting up there in terms of price. And even then, the Marnie full art is still a really reasonable card. You can probably pick up a near mint copy for as low as 40 bucks. Next up, we got the only Trainer Gallery card on this list. Trainer Gallery Pokemon cards are super cool, and I think a bunch of them definitely deserve higher spots, but they were easier pulls, so I don't think they are going to be as prestigious as a lot of other Pokemon cards. But the one that I have on my list is the Pikachu VMAX. It is the most expensive of all the Trainer Gallery Pokemon cards, and it is a really cool looking one. And it is a really cool card, just closing out an end of an era, just because Ash is no longer going to be a part of the animated series, and this card is just super cool and it's so iconic. I think it is well deserving of a spot on this list. Next up, we got a super cool card, which is the Giratina V-Star from Crown Zenith. Once again, a gorgeous looking Pokemon card. If you have this inside of your collection, it's going to be eye-catching across the room. It just looks super cool. In fact, if you have the whole entire God Pokemon card set, it's going to be a great Pokemon card set to display. I think the Pokemon Company has really nailed down the formula for how to make a good looking gold Pokemon card. If you go back just a couple of years ago, they have released a lot of gold Pokemon cards, but a lot of them are kind of ugly, and that really comes down to you can't even see what kind of Pokemon is inside of the art. And these new gold Pokemon cards really pop. They did a great job of making them gold, holographic with a lot of texture, but still being able to discern what the heck is going on inside of the artwork, which I think is super important. So yeah, these gold Pokemon cards, especially the gold Giratina V-Star, great display pieces. Next up, we have the Charizard V Alt Art card, the second Charizard card on this list. Charizard is just super popular. They actually released like 20 to 30 different Charizard cards from Sword and Shield, and this one is super cool from Brilliant Stars. It is the Chase Pokemon card from Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars is a very, very strong Pokemon card set. Even if you don't pull the Charizard V Alt Art, there's a ton of other really cool cards, and it has a trainer gallery, which really helps with the pull rate. And I think of all the Charizard from the Sword and Shield era, this one stands out as being the best one in my personal opinion. Maybe you guys have a different one, just because, like I said, there's a ton of Charizard cards to pick from, but I think this is going to be the chase card for at least the Sword and Shield era. Next up, we have a card from Evolving Skies. Surprise, surprise, Evolving Skies making it onto the list. Actually, it surprises no one, and that is the Rayquaza VMAX. This card is going to be really gorgeous to display. It's a great card. Rayquaza is super popular as far as a Pokemon is considered collectible. And this card is gorgeous. Very cool looking art. I absolutely love the design of it. And it's actually one of my favorite chase cards from Evolving Skies. Never had the chance to pull it just because of how challenging the pulls are for Evolving Skies. But if you have this card inside your collection, I think you're gonna have a great time displaying it. Everyone wants a copy of this card. Next up, we have a Sword and Shield promo card. This is really cool. And I think this is probably the best Sword and Shield promo card to have inside of your collection, and that is the Special Delivery Bidoof. This might surprise some people, but I think the Special Delivery Bidoof is probably the best Special Delivery card and probably the best Sword and Shield promo card to collect. It is super cool, it is very, very rare, and it's got just a great story behind of it. So if you're looking to collect promo card, I think this is one that you're gonna want inside of your collection for sure. Super rare, and it's only gonna go up in terms of value. I just think you're gonna probably want this one over the Special Delivery Charizard. Next up, we're going on to the podium. These are the top 3 Pokemon cards that I would consider to be from the Sword and Shield era. And in third place, we have the Gengar VMAX from Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike, a notorious Pokemon card set for being extremely challenging to pull, and the Gengar VMAX just looks amazing. It's got such a psychedelic artwork. Some people might not really be interested in that kind of art style. I know there are a lot of Pokemon card collectors that like it, and it is a really cool card on an extremely popular Pokemon, so it makes complete sense for this card to be so iconic and incredibly popular. At this point, you can probably guess what the top 2 Pokemon cards are gonna be. It won't really surprise you, but we're still gonna go over them anyway. And in second place, we have the Giratina V from Lost Origin. This card had quite the controversy when it came out. A lot of people said they hated it, but even more people said they liked it, and I completely understand why. It has really chaotic energy, which matches Giratina as a Pokemon in general, so it's really up to you if you like this art. A lot of people do. There's a lot going on inside of the Giratina V art, and it is a very popular Pokemon card for a bunch of different reasons. It definitely looks really cool, and this showcases why Pokemon cards nowadays, especially the top tier ones, are just considered art pieces. This is something that you should display inside of your collection. Frame it up, display it, and it's gonna look good. It's gonna look great on your display. It is such a cool Pokemon card. Next up, we got our top Pokemon card from the Sword and Shield era, and surprise, surprise, it is the Umbreon VMAX. I think this card is so iconic of this era. It encompasses so many things that goes on inside of the hobby in general. It is a very cool looking Pokemon card. It's not my favorite Pokemon card from Evolving Skies, but that doesn't really matter. Everyone talks about this card. This card is so relevant when it comes to the community, the hobby in general. Everyone is constantly discussing it, its price, its quantity, its quality. Everything about this card is constantly being talked about, and it's so prevalent and so iconic and ingrained inside of the hobby that I don't see any other card being able to take its spot as being the most popular and prevalent Pokemon card from all of Sword and Shield. I didn't expect this card to reach this level of notoriety when it was released, so it just goes to show you that even cards can trip up experienced collectors. We can't really predict the future. If you told me of all of the Pokemon cards from Sword and Shield that the Umbreon VMAX would be the most iconic and prevalent one, I would say that doesn't sound right. It's not even the most prevalent card inside of Evolving Skies. That's what I would have said before the release of Evolving Skies. But here we are, and there's no denying that if there's any Pokemon card that you want to have inside of your collection from Sword and Shield, it is going to be the Umbreon VMAX. So that was my top list for the best Pokemon cards that you are going to want to collect from the Sword and Shield era. There were a ton of other cards that I thought could definitely make the list. Unfortunately, I just think some other cards were more prevalent. Some cards that I definitely missed out on were probably the Lugia V from Silver Tempest, the Machamp V from Astral Radiance, and there's a ton of other really cool Pokemon cards from Sword and Shield that I just wasn't able to fit onto this list. But you guys are welcome to disagree with me. If you disagree with me, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how wrong I am. Let me know what are some of your favorite Pokemon cards that I missed from Sword and Shield. because I definitely miss a lot of really cool cards. One final announcement is that I will be at Card Party in Anaheim in June. My good friend Pat Flynn over at Deep Pocket Monster is putting together a convention where you get to meet and talk to a ton of really cool content creators. So if you want to come by, say hi to me, get some free Pokemon cards, then definitely check out Card Party, which is being held in June in California. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.